Well, how about that? First motovlog. Trying to get this going for a while. Trial and error. If you're looking to do this, I don't even know if this is going to turn out good yet, but I tested it out briefly. If you get a mic for whatever external camera you're using, don't try to record your audio through your iPhone. Learned that the hard way. But anywho, kind of pumped. Might be a little bit of a outlet, stress outlet, or someone to talk to, other than my wife. But anybody that's new to the channel, thanks for joining. I do live in Northwest Ohio. It is a little bit chilly out right now, but I'm pumped because this mic works. I had to go out and test it out, so this is kind of the first time. But yeah. In case, again, if you're new to the channel, I'm on a 2013 Harley Ultra Limited. This is my first bike ever. This is the first and only bike I've ever actually ridden. That story came to be thanks in part to my wife. You know, I've always wanted a Harley. You know, I knew what a Harley was. You know, see a Harley going down the road, be like, oh, that's a Harley. What kind of Harley? Wouldn't be able to tell you. So one day, guy at work got a Harley, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Went home, told the wife about it. I was like, yeah, so-and-so at work got a Harley. Pretty cool. And out of the blue, she was like, yeah. Why don't you just go buy one? I'm like, I don't get it. She's like, go buy a Harley. Like, what's the catch? She's like, no catch. She's like, I'm tired of you coming home, pissed off at work, stressed out or whatever. They'll give you something to do, plus you've always wanted one. I'm like, I still don't get it, but okay. So, you know, spent the weekend with her looking at bikes we thought we both like. Because obviously, you know, whenever she can, she comes with me, but when she's not on it or I'm not taking for kids for a ride, I like to take the tour pack off just because I like the look of it. So we knew we were going to get a bagger, just didn't know which one, didn't know anything about any baggers, yada yada yada. Well, so there was that. What kind of Harley are we going to get? Let alone, I've never ridden a motorcycle before, so knew I needed to take the Ohio temp test first. So that weekend while we were looking at bikes, there's online tests all over the place for practice temp tests in Ohio. Spent the weekend doing that, and that following Monday before work, I was like, screw it. I went up to the BMV and took the temp test and passed right off the rip, which kind of was a mind trip for me because as soon as I walked out of there with this piece of paper, I could legally ride any motorcycle as long as I was wearing a helmet, wasn't at night, didn't have a passenger, wasn't on the highway. Which just blew my mind. Like, I could hop on a Hayabusa right now and just go with no experience. Which, obviously, I wasn't going to do that. So, a couple days after that, went out to a Harley dealership here in Napoleon. Nice place. Really cool place. They got a museum in there. A whole bunch of old Harleys and stuff in there. Long story short, found this guy, picked it out. Original owner of this actually traded it in 2 days before I walked in there, and I'm the second owner of it. So filled all the paperwork out. They said they still need to go through and do service on it and all that other stuff, and probably be a week or two before I got the bike. So in the meantime, I have to figure out how am I getting this thing home. Again, never ridden a bike before, so had my temp, so I had the option of either A, riding the bike home, B, having someone ride it home for me, or C, trailer in it, which my mom and stepdad have a trailer. But the kicker with the caveat with that one is my mom hates motorcycles. Hates. So for about a week and a half, I'm trying to figure out how I'm getting to get this thing home. Like 2 days beforehand, I was planting the seed in my mom's head, you know, up until me getting the bike, like, hey, next week sometime, can I borrow your guys' trailer? And she kept asking for what, and I just kept blowing her off, you know. I was just like, I just need it for something. Finally, like 2 days before I got the bike, I asked her again, and she was like, what the hell do you need the trailer for? I was like, I got some. She said, what'd you get? Like, something? She's like, you didn't get a bike, did you? Yep. She didn't talk to me for 2 weeks, so option C went out the window. So I went with option B, asked my buddy at work if he would ride out with me, and if he'd ride the bike back for me, which proved to be probably one of the smartest decisions I've ever made in my life, because he got it home for me before work, and I was like, you know what, I got a helmet, fuck it. I'll hop on this thing, take it down my street. I just live on the street, 25 miles an hour, nothing crazy. Hop on it, putt down the street, turn around, come back, and go to pull in my driveway. I didn't dump it, but I almost dumped it. It scared the crap out of me. Like, what the hell am I doing? I just bought an 800-pound bike that I don't know how to ride. I understand the mechanics of it. I understand the clutch, the throttle, all that stuff. Just zero experience on it. So, spent 2 days just thinking about what the hell I just did. You know, telling myself, like, you know what, screw it. I know some pretty, I'll just go, unfavorable people that know how to ride motorcycles. I can freaking figure this out. So that weekend, got the bike out. There's a church like 2 blocks away from me with a big parking lot. I told my wife, follow me over there in my truck. That's one of the practice. Went over there for about an hour, just doing figure eights, you know, trying to start from a stop and all that. And it was getting better. I was doing that every other day, and then kept venturing further and further away from my house, you know, getting on a 30-mile-an-hour road, turn around, coming back. Got comfortable. So about after a month having the bike, let me rewind. When I got the bike, obviously the Harley dealership asked me if I had my endorsement. I said, no, I just have my temps. And they asked if I wanted to take the Harley safety course, and I was like, yeah, that'd be nice, but I'm not paying $300 for it. I'll just go to the local community college and pay 25 bucks for it. And they're like, oh, you buy the Harley you're looking at, we'll throw the class in for free, and you can do it from a month from now. I'm like, well, hell yeah, sign me up. So, had the bike for a month, you know, just putzing around town, nothing crazy. Go to the motorcycle safety course, the Harley put on. Of course, they got two 4-hour days of classroom stuff, and then the weekend was 2 8-hour days out on their little course on their little Sportster 500s, which are tiny, by the way. But I think there was 12 of us in the class. 3 of us passed. I was one of them. So within a month, I went from getting my temps, never even sat on a bike, to getting the endorsement, which was another kind of messed with my head a little bit. Like, okay, now I have my endorsement, but that class was just qualifying, I don't even want to say qualifying, trained me to ride around in a parking lot at 15 miles an hour. Like, that, I mean, I don't know. I got a lot out of it, don't get me wrong. I recommend anybody do it. It was a great class, but getting out in the world, the real world, with, you know, cars and such, that's just experience, man. I'm a big proponent of, I think everybody should know how to drive a stick shift car, and the reason for it is I believe it makes you more in tune with the car and what's going on around a motorcycle is that times 100. You have to be aware of everything that's going on around you. What's in front of the car in front of me right now? I don't want to follow too close, because if he slams on the brake, yada yada yada. You're always looking for outs. But so getting out of the class and everything, that was late fall. So I haven't had a full summer of the bike yet. Fast forward to last year. I got the bike in September 21. So last year was my first full summer with it. And tell you what, man, this is therapeutic. When everybody asks me what's it like riding a motorcycle, obviously people with motorcycles probably understand what I'm going to say. it's a very freeing feeling. And that's the best way to describe it. It is. You know, I haven't really ventured far outside of Northwest Ohio yet on this. Went to Ohio Bike Week in Sandusky last year. That was fun. Plan on doing it again, but I'm talking like big trips. Like this year, I'd love to go down to Tennessee, hit the Trail of the Dragon. You know, might get that in the works. But really praying this bike's holding up to this wind. I guess I'll find out when I get home and check out the footage. But I'm not going to keep babbling on. Hopefully this turns out good. Hopefully, I don't know, you get something out of me babbling on. And if you do, I'd really appreciate if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel. Obviously, the goal, any YouTuber, well, I would think anybody that has a YouTube channel, you know, they're putting videos out for a purpose. But what's the end game, you know? Of course, I'd like to get monetized and make money off of motorcycle videos. Who wouldn't? I mean, the idea would be, if I'm making money off these videos, it's going to go straight into the bike and more adventures, more content, and keep going. You know, I do have a regular Monday through Friday job, which I'm lucky to have. You know, grateful for it. Obviously, that paid for this bike, but just, you know, documenting the adventures, you know, wife, kids, do a lot of camping. But yeah, so again, appreciate it if you actually make it all the way through this video, and we'll do this again if this video, or the sound turns out okay. Well, I'll definitely do more of these if everybody's interested in it. Again, thank you. Have a good one.